Veronica Vance. Coming up, we board the Titanic exhibit at the Henry Ford, sample food and fun at Andiamo, and then we take a tour of Dearborn landmarks, so stay tuned.
Production funding for this program was made possible by the Detroit Metro Convention and Visitors Bureau, driving tourism growth in Metro Detroit since 1896. More information is available at visitdetroit.com.
We've got another great reason to visit the Henry Ford. Now, honoring that fateful night 100 years ago, the sinking of the Titanic, they are showcasing Titanic, the Artifact Exhibition. And what makes this exhibit so unique is that they have over 250 items that have never been seen in Michigan before. Now, the Titanic exhibit does require an extra ticket, but you're going to have all kinds of time to explore because they let in 100 people every 15 minutes to kind of keep it controlled. And you can also buy an audio tour if you want to listen to some of the things as you're walking along and help guide you on your way.
It's been a great opportunity for the Henry Ford to bring this exhibit here at the time of the 100th anniversary. Remember, it was April 14th, 1912 that Titanic struck the iceberg, and we have it right here, right now at this point. It's going to run through September 30th, so there's a lot of opportunities to be able to see the exhibit, but we've been telling our guests, make sure you get those tickets in advance so you can attend at the time that you want to and when it's convenient for you.
So that's, you pick a time and then you board for your time, which is kind of what's going on behind us here.
That's right. We let people in 15-minute increments so they can flow through. They start here boarding in our boarding zone. You can see images of the original White Star docks behind.
So you're actually given a boarding pass. Explain how this works to me.
Right. Everybody that comes in will be given a boarding pass here in our boarding zone. And what this boarding pass does is it associates you with an actual passenger or crew member that was on board Titanic. So you could be first class, second class, third class, and you can sort of follow what their experience would be throughout the ship. And then in the end, you can find out whether or not your passenger survived the journey.
Wow, that really personalizes it for the visitor. It brings it home that these were people and not just something you read about. So I am a first-class woman passenger. I'm gonna follow it to the end and see if I made it.
All right.
All right. King of the world, right? What's going on here is they'll take your photograph with this green screen behind you. You can buy the photograph at the end of the tour with the water behind you, just like you were at the bow of the Titanic. So this, explain to me, it's set up chronologically how it happened?
That's right. So the first gallery that guests enter into is essentially the building of the ship. And then basically you follow the life of the ship from its building to passengers boarding to the experience on the ship, the events of that fateful night, and then eventually the actual wreck and the recovery efforts for some of the artifacts that you see in the exhibit. I look at these artifacts and I love to know the stories of them. And what's fascinating is you'll find some artifacts that you would never expect to have lasted 7, 8, 9 decades on the ocean floor. Paper cards, tickets that are in this case to me are truly amazing. Well, not only are there amazing artifacts in this exhibit, we really get a chance to immerse people into the experience with these amazing recreations. This is a recreation of a first-class hallway, exactly as though it would have looked for passengers boarding into that first-class section.
This is gorgeous, even nowadays. It's beautiful.
It truly is. They wanted to rival any five-star hotel, and I think it could even rival those today.
Well, Tom, this is sort of like the grand lobby, or so to speak, of the ship, right?
Right. This is a recreation of the Grand Staircase, one of the more famous elements on board Titanic, and was featured in the 1997 movie, which was, of course, Meet Me at the Clock between Kate and Leo.
Now, this is also a photo op for your visitors as well, correct?
And I think this is just going to be an amazing keepsake. Again, to do it in the 100th anniversary, 100 years later.
So this room is sort of like the experience room?
Yeah, this is what we're calling the passenger gallery. And what it really talks about is what the experience was like for each of the passengers as they came on board. Some really cool things in here include first, second, and third class china, because of course all the experiences were different, as well as personal belongings, and it really sort of tells the story and tries to bring home what it was like to be on that ship.
It's a bit sad, but fascinating. You know, it's hard to say that it's enjoyable when you think of the
I've always been fascinated with the Titanic and the legend, and it's fun to come out and actually see relics of it.
So this room is typical of what a first-class passenger's room would have looked like, and of course, according to my boarding pass, this would have been for me, even nice by today's standards.
This is actually the third class compartment. It's very, compared to the first class, definitely played down a lot. But even when you look at this third class cabin, this was pretty deluxe for the day for a third class passenger. They would have had, they would have been sleeping on straw mattresses on some of the other ships. So this was actually pretty nice, but definitely a big contrast to that first class stateroom.
Okay, so now we're hearing the engines roar, is that?
That's right. We're getting closer to the engine room, the boiler room, and the story that begins here is really the story of what happened that night on April 14th, leading into the morning of April 15th.
Well, this room sort of has an eerie feel. Explain what's going on here.
Right. As we've gone through the events of that night, this is a very somber room, and it's a very hushed room because this focuses on the actual striking the iceberg and those events that happened around 11:40 and then leading into just past 2 o'clock the next morning. The big feature in here, of course, is our iceberg, which is a hands-on iceberg you can actually touch. And a little interesting fact about that, it's 32 degrees, but the water would have been 28 degrees because salt water freezes at a lower temperature, so it would have even been colder than that frozen wall.
Wow, this is chilling, and it's unimaginable that they actually had to get into the water and it was colder than this frozen block of ice, 28 degrees, and they survived, some of them.
So this is what was discovered in 1985. There have been many dives after that have recovered the artifacts that you see in the exhibit. Again, all discovered on the debris field. And these au gratin dishes sort of show how things were just sort of neatly lined up. So these are the real dishes, just laid out just the way they would have been, found them on the ocean floor.
I am fascinated by the things that they were able to bring up from the wreck. And the fact that I can actually see it and touch it. There's an exhibit over there that they're allowing you to touch, so it's absolutely wonderful. I am thoroughly enjoying myself.
So this is what she's referring to, that you can touch. It's an angle iron, recovered. Here it is, you can actually reach in there and touch a piece of history. So sort of wrapping up the experience, we end up in this room.
Yep. This is the final gallery, which is the memorial gallery. We know who owned these individual artifacts, whereas many of the artifacts were strewn about on the ocean floor. They could have been anybody's. The final thing in the exhibit is, of course, our memorial wall, which is that final thing that really brings home the gravity of this event. If I remember, you were first class,
I was
correct?
first class.
All right, let's see if we can find you here.
So they're alphabetically. Oh, there I am.
Oh.
I made it. So my story's in here somewhere. That's really, it really does personalize the whole exhibit. Gives me goosebumps.
We hope that's the effect that a lot of people are having.
So then we end up in this store, which is really neat because you were saying you get to take home some of the experience.
That's right, and some of the things here really reflect what's in the exhibit, whether it's a real lump of coal or recreations of first class, second class, or third class china. It's a chance to take home a part of that experience and be able to sort of relive it. So, of course, we have all the other stuff, T-shirts, things like that, but these recreations are my favorite.
Well, thank you so much, Tom. And remember, you have until September 30th to come to the Henry Ford and experience this exhibit and take home a piece of the Titanic.
Let's ride. Let's ride. Let's ride. That's right.
There are 11 Andiamo restaurants scattered throughout Metro Detroit, so no matter where you are, you're never far from great Italian food. But today we are at their flagship restaurant where it all started in Warren on 14 Mile, just between Mound and Van Dyke. Now here it's more than just a restaurant. They've got a bar to sit and relax at. They've got, of course, the great Italian food, but they've also got a celebrity showroom. They get big name acts that come in here. You can rent it out for a wedding, a corporate event, or whatever. So, Andiamo, let's go.
Luna in mezzo al mare, mamma mia, si salterà. Allora è bella per danzare che in amor non mancherà.
Well, the name Andiamo, the name of the restaurant, the full name is Andiamo Italia, which means, Andiamo means let's go, Italia to Italy. So that's how the name came about.
Very clever.
Yeah, my grandparents were immigrants from Italy, and our chef, Chef Aldo, is from Italy, and he's been our chef since we've been here.
Wow, and so you're doing something right, the food. What region of Italy is the food from?
You know, all of our menu is the whole province of Italy. You know, we have some northern Italy dishes, some southern Italy dishes, so we cover really the whole map of Italy.
Any signature dishes?
Well, I think that we specialize in veal, and our homemade pastas are, you know, really our signature dishes.
So whenever you're ordering pasta at any Andiamo, it's always homemade then? Fresh?
Yes, everything's homemade. We have 3 little Italian ladies back there, and that's all they do is make pasta.
That's so cute. They're back there making pastas. We're out here talking.
Yeah.
And so this is sort of the flagship one. This also has the showroom as well, right?
Yes, this has a large banquet facility attached to it. Some of our restaurants also have banquet facilities. This particular one has the largest one. And we also use the banquet facility as a showroom. They have live entertainment, usually Wednesday through Saturday in the lounge areas. So, yeah, there's something for everybody at Andiamo. But the best part is the great food and the great service.
The great food and service.
Yeah.
All right. Well, can we take a peek at the banquet room?
Yeah, let's
okay.
go.
So this is the showroom where you come to see live shows, banquets. I mean, what exactly goes on in here?
Well, a little bit of everything, as you said. It's a banquet hall, first of all, and we do a lot of weddings, a lot of social functions. We do corporate business. We can seat about 700 people in here.
Oh my gosh, that's huge.
Yeah, it's a large theater. And then as a showroom, we have different configurations of the tables, so we can put about 800 people in here for the showroom.
So you get some big names that come in here, right?
Yes, we do. We've had, you know, really the who's who. We've had Howie Mandel as comedy, Don Rickles as comedy, Joan Rivers, singers. We've had Engelbert Humperdinck. We've had Paul Anka, country. We've had Lone Star.
Lots of neat options. I hear they're getting ready for a show tonight. Tonight is what? What's tonight?
Tonight we have a show. It's called Tony and Tina's Wedding, and this is a show that we reoccur here. It plays here about 4 times a year. It's a great show. It's very entertaining. This for tonight, it does include the food. It's a one package deal.
One package deal.
That's it, Donna, we're breaking up!
You breaking up with me? No, I'm breaking up with you. Did you hear it? Who broke up with me first? I broke up with him!
Thank you for showing me around.
Thank you very much.
Yep.
Nice to see you.
They're just getting served their food now. It's like you're actually crafting a real wedding. They're serving it family style. It's like so much drama and so much fun going on all at the same time. They really pull you in. So you're making the homemade pasta for all the restaurants here? Yes?
Every day.
Every day making a homemade pasta. Wow. So it goes from here onto your plate? You can't get any fresher than that, can you?
No, it's fresh, yeah.
Mmm.
There you go.
All right, thank you. And if you love food here so much, you can even take home some of Chef Aldo's recipes. He's got a cookbook available here, The Magic of Chef Aldo, and it's a collection of his favorite recipes.
I'm a Belgian, but boy, when I come here, I am an Italian. Trust me.
Well, hi, Peter. Thank you for sitting down with me. I'm so excited to taste some of this food. It smells wonderful. So what do we have here?
Veronica, we have the lasagna alla bolognese.
Alla bolognese? Okay.
Bolognese, and it is a traditional 14-layer lasagna.
14 layers.
14 layers.
Wow.
With the meat sauce and ricotta cheese in between each layer.
And so, Peter, what do you have here?
It is a filetto di manzo, filet of beef, char-grilled 8-ounce steer filet mignon, along with the oven-roasted red skin potatoes and some Swiss chard also. It's also topped with zip sauce.
Zip sauce.
Which is vegetable consomme and folded butter. And the dessert is a traditional Italian birthday cake. It is a white cake infused with cannoli filling.
You know, it's something else I noticed too. So you have your own wine. Andiamo has its own wine?
Yes, it's Andiamo Nero d'Avolo. Nero d'Avolo is a grape varietal such as Merlot or Cabernet.
Shall we sample some of the food?
Definitely.
So I'm going to dig into these 14 layers of lasagna here. The meat sauce smells wonderful. What a difference homemade pasta makes. That is so good. Perfect amount of cheese on it. This is yummy.
Nice and tender.
Wow, yeah, even my butter just sliced right through that. That's yummy. I love the sauce. So again, Nero d'Avola.
Nero d'Avolo.
Nero d'Avola. My Italian's not very good. That's very good. Very nice and light and fluffy. Oh, that's very good. I like all the chocolate curls on the side. Is that kind of typical too?
Yes. Also homemade in the back.
Well, Peter, thank you so much.
You're welcome, Veronica.
Letting me sample this delectable food. It was fantastic.
Thank you for joining us.
And lucky us, there are 11 Andiamo locations throughout Metro Detroit. So no matter where you are, you can get some of this fine Italian food anytime or any place. Cheers.
Cheers.
Welcome to Detroit, and welcome to my home.
Plenty of things to see and do in Metro Detroit this month, and our calendar of events is up next to point you in the right direction. Downtown Wyandotte hosts their annual street art fair, and George Clinton headlines Concert of Colors. The hydroplanes race along the Detroit River, and Plymouth's Art in the Park features fine art and crafts. Classic Rock All-Stars perform at GM's free concert series, then have fun watching or cruising Michigan Ave. The Ann Arbor Art Fair celebrates 53 years, and the Ovations Christmas in July cruise benefits local charities. Check out the Sterling Fest Art and Music Fair. Then Campus Martius invites you to rock the park. The Arab and Chaldean Festival takes place at Hart Plaza, and the Henry Ford's Maker Fair is an inventor's delight. Enjoy luxury autos at the Concours d'Elegance. Then Thunder Over Michigan flies into Willow Run Airport. To learn of any changes, log on to visitdetroit.com or call 1-800-DETROIT. Want to see a few uniquely Metro Detroit landmarks? Well, our region has plenty of these, and today we're going to show off a few in and around the Dearborn area. Of course, we're all familiar with the incredible Henry Ford, home to the Henry Ford Museum and Greenfield Village. Then there's a national historic landmark, the Henry Ford Estate, home of Henry and Clara Ford, the Automotive Hall of Fame, and the Arab American Museum. But if you just want to cruise around and take a look at some unique and one-of-a-kind sites, there's plenty more to see, and we're going to show off a few right now, so let's go. If you've ever driven I-94 near Metro Airport, you can't help but gawk at that huge tire. In fact, it is the world's largest tire. The 80-foot Uniroyal tire was originally designed for the 1964-65 New York World's Fair. At that time, it was a 96-seat Ferris wheel. Now today, it stands as a colossus for all to marvel at when cruising the D. Another I-94 drive-by landmark is the Gateway Bridge. This tide arch bridge over I-94 spans over Telegraph Road in Taylor. It's a steel arch structure and was part of a $58 million project to realign 4 miles of east and westbound traffic along the highway. Your kids will love crossing the bridge and oohing and awing over its cool look and feel. Of course, when you're in Dearborn, it's hard to miss the Glass House, which is the nickname for Ford World headquarters. Standing tall along Michigan Avenue, very often you'll find special events taking place along its grounds. And not far from the headquarters is the original Ford Rouge complex, a testament to American industrial might. It is made up of 93 buildings totaling nearly 16 million square feet, and it has its own railroad with 100 miles of tracks, 15 miles of paved roads, and 120 miles of conveyors. Today you can experience a bit of this automotive manufacturing giant by taking the Ford Rouge factory tour, available through the Henry Ford. Now here's a bit of Americana that you don't see or experience much anymore. The Drive-In Theater, located on Ford Road and Wyoming, aptly named the Ford-Wyoming. They are the self-proclaimed largest drive-in theater in the world. They have 8 screens, each of which shows double features. They've always got new releases. They're open all year round, and they show movies for all ages. So this is one of the last places to show your kids what it was like to watch a movie from inside your car. We all know that the Detroit Lions football team plays in downtown Detroit at Ford Field, but did you know that their practice field and headquarters is in Allen Park, just east of the Southfield Freeway? The complex is 460,000 square feet, and it includes a full practice field, 2 outdoor practice fields, weight training and locker rooms, a cafeteria, and 103-person auditorium, just to name a few of its amenities. It is also eco-friendly as it was built with renewable and recyclable materials. Given East Dearborn's large Islamic population, it only makes sense that the largest mosque in North America is located in Dearborn. It's here on Ford Road, just east of Evergreen. With a cost of $14 million to build, it is quite an architectural site. Aside from its spires that reach all the way to the clouds, inside the architecture is just as grand. It also has a bookstore, coffee shop, and meeting rooms. Tours and cultural information are available. So if you want to experience a bit of the Middle East in America, you definitely want to take a peek at this huge landmark. Once again, we've shown you that Metro Detroit is rich and unique and one-of-a-kind landmarks, so get out and take a look around. And if you happen to come across one of these Visit Detroit magazines, you can pick these up, because these will also point you in the right direction. And we know that you will find the D experience is fun and pretty educational to boot.
Detroit City. You just gotta be here to truly believe what it's like in the D. What it's like in the D.
Well, that's our show. Thanks for watching. I'm Veronica Vance. And remember, if you'd like more information on any of the places we visited, log on to visitdetroit.com. So, until I see you next time, go out and explore on your own and discover the D. To learn about discounts and special offers for featured attractions, plus how to get copies of Visit Detroit magazine, click on visitdetroit.com.
Production funding for this program was made possible by the Detroit Metro Convention and Visitors Bureau, driving tourism growth in Metro Detroit since 1896. More information is available at visitdetroit.com.